have to go to work every day when you're an entrepreneur. There's no PTO. There's no time off. You have to grind every single day. As I go through this PowerPoint, I'm going to show you my grind and show you what I do. You have to tap in. You're not going to be young forever. You're not invincible. Hand clap. 2 hand claps. I always had a vision. Tap into that vision. Utilize it.
What up, everybody? It's me, Chef Ponder. You're here for another installation of Becoming a Boss in the Kitchen, man. Chef Talk, Chat and Chew. It's Thursday, 7:30. We're getting started. We're now streaming over on the Avenue Live. We're on Avenue Live. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're streaming everywhere because we don't want to leave nothing to chance with nobody not catching our show, without nobody tapping into it. So we're everywhere. We're not just exclusively to one channel. We're everywhere. But if you all are on the Avenue Live, shout out to the Avenue streaming platform. Of course, if you're on my YouTube channel right now, be sure to subscribe. Click the bell just in case more information comes out, to be a part of all the information. And y'all know every Thursday I'm bringing on a dope chef, foodie, somebody dealing with food. Always dealing with food. So you already know what time it is. This evening, I got a pretty unique person. Got a pretty interesting background out of Pittsburgh. That's right, Pittsburgh, PA. And you may or may not have heard of Pittsburgh, PA. I think my man named Black and Yellow. There's more people out of Pittsburgh than that. That's, I think, everybody's first time getting introduced to Pittsburgh. Besides the Steelers, if there's any Steelers fans out there, y'all know what time it is in Pittsburgh. But besides that, let's go back real quick and talk about the Avenue. The Avenue Live. They got a competition coming up called the Breaking Bread Competition. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But definitely go check out. If you're a chef or a foodie, you want to be a part of this Breaking Bread competition, June 19th through July 15th, over on the Avenue Live. And we're on that platform right now. If you need more information, definitely shoot me an email at chefpreneuracademy@gmail.com. I'll send you this flyer for all the chefs, foodies, food enthusiasts, anybody want to get involved, and bartenders. There's another competition on this platform called Ballot of Bottle. They did some pretty big numbers last year, so definitely tap into the Avenue Live, man. Great opportunity. We'll circle back to that in a minute. I want to go ahead and move forward and bring on our guest for the evening, Chef Jay Boston. Peace and love. How you feeling? What's going on with you?
What's up? So first of all, I am not from Pittsburgh.
Well, I wasn't saying you from Pittsburgh, Chef. I'm saying, but you rep Pittsburgh pretty hard, though.
No, I don't.
Okay. Correct me.
I'm from Ohio. I am from Steubenville, Ohio. It's outside of Pittsburgh, but I'm Ohio made, baby. I went to school in Pittsburgh and I worked in Pittsburgh, and that was the closest city. I worked for NFL players at Pittsburgh Steelers, but
Okay.
I'm from Ohio and I rep Ohio. I
Okay.
just
Well,
want to, I wanted to get that out
correct.
there
Listen,
first,
listen. Correct the record and keep me honest. Dan, Ohio in the
Ohio.
building. I don't know any city. Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland is up north, though,
Columbus,
right?
Columbus, you've
Columbus,
been
Ohio.
here.
Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio. Well, why am I thinking the association with Pittsburgh then? Do you you
Because
work
I
there
went to
now?
school. No, because I went to school there and stuff in the
That's what it
past,
is. That's what it
and I
is.
worked for this couple Steelers players, stuff like that. I did have a heavy association with Pittsburgh. So
Okay, so
I
all
can
right.
see where somebody could
Charge it
get it
to my head,
confused.
not to my heart. I apologize 1,000%
I know,
for that misconception. But shouts out to Ohio.
Yeah, shout out to Ohio
And
in the
and and
building.
and God bless everybody in Ohio. Okay, so Chef, let's jump right into it, man. A lot of people are tracking you over on IG right now. A lot of people are talking about some of the great food you're doing. You do some real creative stuff over on IG, and we chat back and
Thank
forth every
you.
now and then. So let's just jump in there, man. Tell us about yourself and who you are. What's your story? Let's get into it.
My name is Janese Boston. I am a chef and I'm the owner of Living Proof Chef Service. And currently, the basis of my business is providing luxury dining experiences for people inside their home or a rented property or an event space. So basically, we set the table, we cook the food, we bring the food, we prep the food, we clean up, we completely do the whole process. So that's who I am and that's what I do. But aside who I am on a little deeper level, Living Proof Chef Service is a unique name. And it kind of stems from like, I got a shaky background, just like a lot of people. And I felt like I'm living proof of a lot of the stuff that I've been through. So I wanted to make my business stand forward with that because, it was a huge transition in my life. I did some time. And a lot of times when you come up out of that, you don't have no confidence. And cooking for me, it gave me my bag, it gave me my body, it gave me my confidence. So that's kind of how I got here.
Wow,
You know.
that's pretty powerful. So tell us about your culinary journey. Was you always your chef at the gate? Everybody's story. I'm cooking since I was 9 or
Right.
5. When did you first get into culinary and cooking? Like,
To be
how did you get
honest with you, like I always kind of liked food, but I'm from the project, so I really wasn't like exposed to a lot of food. But I was super interested. Like I used to watch Food Network when Iron Chef came out. Like when Iron Chef had the subtitles and
Oh
it wasn't in
wow.
English. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
yeah,
was a
yeah.
little girl watching this. So I was so interested, but I didn't have the resources. I didn't have black women chefs or I didn't have that the internet and different things to facilitate even to spark
Right.
the idea of maybe I could do it. My grandma was a chef for 60 years for for the monastery, like the priest, but I still didn't never consider it until I was at a point in my life where I was working in the clubs and I had 2 kids and I was a single mom and I needed to make a change and I knew I needed to pick up something a little bit more long lasting than what I was doing. And
Right.
I start doing the process of go ahead.
No, no. I was saying my head right. I was agreeing with you.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So like during the process of my elimination, you know how you go through, every person goes through, okay, what do I like? What can I possibly go to school for? And it's
Yep.
just like I already had went to school when I was in prison. I tried hair, didn't like it. I got a college degree, didn't use it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, all right, what am I really can see myself, finessing my way through? And something was just like, go to culinary school. Fuck it. Am I allowed to cuss? Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
This
okay,
ain't no.
okay. Okay,
Listen,
I had
listen.
to
What the
make sure.
hell? I already told you off the rip. This is my show.
Okay, I had to make sure.
We
I'm
just
just
sharing
saying.
your
So,
story with everybody, and the cool thing
yeah,
about it, is you just keeping it keeping it 100 because we don't know who
yeah.
out there shares a similar story or may just be on that same path of not knowing what way to do, whether they
I mean,
stuck in the
a
mud
lot
or
of
what.
people don't know, like, until
Yeah.
It's like some people know, like, from a young age. I always want to be a teacher. I always want to be a doctor. I've been a chef all my life since I've been 9. Well, I was making oodles and noodles at 9, but we could fast forward that. I could make a mean ramen now. But, it's my journey. I was just in a point where I needed to create some stability in my life.
Yeah.
And culinary school was like, I don't know how to even explain it. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. And
Wow.
I thought about it, and I didn't, before I thought about it, I went and followed a lot of chefs who I just put like private chefs, and I would like hashtag a bunch of different, and I would just follow like different ones that kind of like seem they had some type of edge or personality too, you know, not just the standard like Rachel Ray type of people. So I actually, JR, you just had JR on your show, and JR was the first chef that I worked with that was aligned with the type of vibe that I wanted to create or be around or give off, as far as just like urban, young, modern chef. You know what I'm saying? So I followed him first, and I just started tapping into little chefs he was posting, and I was just like, I'm going to culinary school. I hit him up like, I'm going to culinary school. He was like, hit me when you start. Boom, I started. I started interning out there with them, and it just, I mean, I worked country clubs. I tried restaurants. I always knew that wasn't my thing. I just paid my dues because I knew I was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? But
Damn right.
that wasn't my thing. I already knew because I didn't want to be behind the I'm a showy type person, so I ain't want to be behind no kitchen all day. I want to talk to the people, you know.
Get out there.
Yeah, get out there. So,
So speaking of show
mhm.
now, do you have any inspirations to go on a TV show at some point? Chop, Cut Through Kitchen, Guys Grocery Game, Hell's Kitchen, any of those shows? Do you have any inspiration to go on those shows at all?
It's like I used to be against that. I'm not gonna lie, and I think
What?
yeah, and I used to be against it because I felt insecure, and
I
that's
got you.
me being transparent. Like
Right.
for
Thank you.
years, I didn't realize at the time why I was avoiding it. Like, oh no, I would never do a show. I'm not into competition. Oh no, no, no. And then I think it was just my confidence with myself that was I was projecting that on that potential opportunity. So now I'm not against it, but I'm not about to bark down their tree to get the opportunity either. It's one of them things, if God aligns me with it, um then I'll do it, but
Right.
you know
So
I don't know.
if Chop or Cut Through Kitchen, I'm sorry, not Cut Through Kitchen's gone, but if a show like Chop or whatever reach out to you and say, hey, we want you on the show, you think you'd be ready to go compete with those chefs?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I would prefer not to go, like, no shade to Food Network, that's where I started at with my visual alignment with food,
Uh-oh.
but I definitely would want to go on something a little bit more not so streamlined, like on Netflix or something, like just a kind of a different, um that's all we had back then was Food Network. We got way more platforms and shows and stuff now, so
Facts. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
That's
kind
completely
of
true.
different. It's
Completely,
changing now. So
absolutely true. So tell us about what we're looking at right here. Former inmate delivers Christmas gifts to kids with parents in jails. Kind of walk us through that part of your story, your journey.
okay, so I was a mom when I went to prison, and my son was 30 days old when I left, and I went through the struggle of like knowing the process, worrying about your kid, or just wishing you could do just a little bit more. So once I got my stuff together, I always vowed myself, to go back and re-pour into the same type of programs that I was a part of when I was gone. The difference is a lot of them people who ran them programs, they had never did time. Me, I did time, so I took it a little serious. So
Right.
um at first it was just an idea. Like, all right, how am I getting these prisons to make a difference? I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a toy drive. And I put it on Facebook. I was driving on
Mm.
the highway, and I put it on Facebook as a fundraiser, and I stopped driving and forgot about it. And then like when I got home a couple hours later, I looked and I had mad donations. I'm like, oh my goodness, like
Oh
I don't
wow.
even know where I'm gonna get these people with these parents in jail. I didn't know at the time, but luckily I was so blissfully aligned with the lady that I work with at the jail.
Hmm.
So she give me the people that's incarcerated. I hate calling them inmates because I think that's it just gives me shackle slave vibe. So I
Right.
try to
Right.
avoid, Good Morning America used that word, but if they would have asked me first, I probably would have asked them to say something else. Because it gives me shackly vibes or something. So make a long story short, I started doing this toy drive where we implemented delivering gifts to kids who were incarcerated in the local jail here in Franklin County in Columbus, Ohio. And a
Wow.
part of that program is not just us giving away the toys, but I started out like getting the wish list and going out and shopping for the kids one
Hmm.
by one and then delivering it. Now, just this past year, it grew to where so I was able to set up rooms at both of the jails here with toys, and I allowed the parents to shop for their kids themselves. They got to pick out the wrapping paper themselves. They got to sign, I got to meet the parents. So when I went to go drop them off, I could literally the energy exchange is completely different now, and the parents have more of a hand in on what they picking for their kids, and we have them write a letter to their child too.
Wow. And you know, I was just about to ask you how impactful you think that process is if somebody would have had done that for you. What was that opportunity available for you when you were in?
No. So they had a thing like my little brother just signed up for it this past year because
Hmm.
he's incarcerated. And basically, they tell you to give your kid's name and age and the address, and they'll just randomly drop off a gift on the porch. This is not that. This is not any, no shade to them because I appreciate whatever is
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
but this
for
is
sure.
not that type of toy drive. We are looking to do way more impactful things. And I feel like we have, especially now that the parents are able to shop for their kids, because they also have to be going, like, I don't take just anybody into my toy drive. You have to be active inside of a parenting program or something, letting us know that you're taking an initiative on the inside. Because if I'm going to be running around here doing all this stuff for free,
Yeah.
you have to be doing your part in there too. You know what I'm saying? So the people be in parenting classes. And once this year was an eye opener because they got the shop for their kids. And like the, I didn't cry then, but I feel like it's coming talking about it now because the impact of allowing them, especially the men, like shout out to the men because they really the thankfulness and the gratefulness and the appreciativeness like I had one of the guys say, you know, this wasn't even as special as it was when I was on the outside because I would take my kids to the mall and let them buy whatever, but I would be on my phone, the whole time. He was like, this, I'm really in here picking, like, all right, this going to go here, this going to go there. These two kids is in the same house. I want to make sure they, but he really, was expressing that he had taken the thought out for once to really put in the energy into picking out his kids' gifts. And on the other side with the kids, I can't even explain it, girl. I mean, I ain't even say girl, it's a habit.
No, I
But like
understand.
it's one of them things. It is whoo. I cried. First 2 years, I cried every place we went to. Literally.
Wow.
This year I only cried once because I was so elated. I prayed about it. Like I was such in a different space. So to make a long story short, that's kind of what I do. Um, is raise money, and I don't have grants or nothing. I just raise it from the community of my followers, and I spend every
Right.
single dime and dollar on wrapping paper, tape, gifts, as much as I can get. And I had got so much stuff this last year that we had over. Like I bought pallets of toys, and I had so much stuff that we have actually rollover stuff for next year
Hmm.
that we have stored in the Franklin County Jail in like a secret location or whatever. So like just that is like even though it's not food, it's such a huge part of my life because
Right.
the goal is to actually teach culinary to people with unfortunate backgrounds because this has paved the way for me. I got out of jail. I didn't know what I was going to do. I ain't have no nothing. I went to jail with nothing, no GED, no college, nothing. You know what I'm saying? I got all of that. I came home. I didn't know what I was going to do. For real, chefing put me in position. So if I know it could work for somebody else in my same situation,
Right.
you know what
Kind of like paying it forward. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying? Yeah.
And I can kind of relate to what you're saying. And I'm not sure if you get the same feeling, but like me now with my speaking engagements, whatever the case is, just how people respond to you, like the reception of what you're doing, and you just doing it because you feel like it needed to be done. Um, do you see yourself eventually going into like a 501c nonprofit organization for this, and actually making it bigger, like national at some
Yeah,
point?
so I should be tax exempt or 501c3 here soon. The
Okay.
longest part is
Nice.
honestly, which we can talk about when it comes to the chef side of it too, is
Hmm.
trusting people. With a nonprofit, you have to have other people involved. It's not like I could be a sole proprietorship and I could just have me. I'm just, it's not like that. You have to have a board and you have to have people. What comes
Yeah.
with that is you have to trust people.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And I waited for my moment to allow God to like align me with people that I can trust because I do got trust issues. And I feel like a lot of people, want to do stuff for clout and don't have real good intentions. You know what I'm saying? And I'm funny acting. So I just waited. I waited, and God has definitely led me to the people I needed to be led to.
Cool. That's what's up. Well, so that's a real phenomenal story. Kind of coming. I'm not gonna say getting it out the mud, but
Oh yeah, it's the mud, hard quicksand. It
yeah.
was feeling like it was feeling like quicksand in the moment, but it's life. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it
Now,
is.
tell us about this right here. Is this also a part of what you're doing for as a mentor, or are you mentoring anybody? Or just kind of you just kind of just took off with people reaching out to you coming to do
Man,
what
I
you
got my hand in so much wonder. Like, so I do these free cooking classes for kids back home and we're in my hometown, which I want to start doing them here in Columbus too, but I started out doing them at home. And basically, I'm from a small town where there ain't no international market. There's no like it's a food job for real. They got Kroger and a Walmart, but that's about all. So what my goal with that was when I started just introducing kids to other foods. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's ethnic foods or just different ways to eat the food that we already eat, or they're used to. But moving forward, I'm looking to start developing just like I have the Build a Bond toy drive. Um, Creating the Build a Bond cooking class for parents and their kids that's on the outside, like not dealing with the prison stuff. Just parents that want to cook with their kids and spend some time with their kids.
Wow, man.
I know. I need to reel it
You're a
in. I need to
philanthropist,
reel it
man.
in.
No,
I
no, no, no,
am.
no. You're like a philanthropist, and I can speak on doing multiple things at one time. And this year, I vowed to only focus on one thing at a time, and I'm gonna get a lot more done focusing on one thing at a time. Because as a as chefs, like we all have this creative, well, not all of us, most of us has all this creative brain to do anything. And once you start doing little things, you start conquering those little things, and you're not like the world becomes your oyster. You want to just do everything at one time. So
Yeah.
I can relate to that wanting to do everything at the same time. And you damn well can. Like you damn near really doing a lot of stuff at one time. But this year, I said, and I shared it with a couple other chefs down here in Atlanta about focusing on one thing at a time. Like if you
Yeah.
spend 6 months of this year only focusing on, not saying you can't do the other 13 things you want to do, but that one thing opens the door for everything to happen. And
Have you ever
I've,
read the book called One Thing? Actually, there's a
no,
book.
I'm gonna look it
It's
up
a
now though.
really good book. Yeah, it's called One Thing. And if anybody's listening, it's a super great book and it super taps on to this conversation about tackling one thing at a time.
Wow.
It's a book that I need to read it like probably once every 6 months to remind
Wow.
myself. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah.
because it's so important. Like you said, as chefs, like, we could take it back to where like when you first start cooking, you don't know what you want to do. You selling plates, you doing meal prep, you doing catering, you doing private chef. You's like, I'm here, I'm doing everything, and then you
Look at me.
realize that they're right. Look at me, and then you realize like, them are all totally different type of markets. Them are all totally different type of branding. Them are all totally different type of
Yep.
businesses. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you realize like, you know what? Like I don't really do catering. You will probably never see me do buffet style type of catering. It's just I don't. That's just not my thing. And maybe in the
Eh,
future I'll get into it. But for me, I like what I do right now. I've
right.
honed in on it. I don't do meal prep. I don't do all this stuff and all this stuff. I just don't do it. I just do my one thing. I want to do really really well at doing it, and teach other people how to do it so they could do it, and I don't have to be there.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
So my other question is, what other chefs want to know, and this is kind of a poll questionnaire, and I'm going through. It's like maybe 6, 7
Mhm.
questions, but how how do you grow such a large following on social media as a chef? Like, what are your tactics or skill sets that you think gets you new followers?
I am the wrong person for this. You know
Well, I
why,
mean,
Chef?
you
Because my
started
little bit of
somewhere.
followers, because I was just myself. I've always just
Okay,
been
so that's a
myself.
good answer.
And
Yeah.
maybe that is my advice is just I just was myself. And when I started this Instagram, I was doing something different. And then all my followers a lot of my followers been following me for a long time. I don't have a lot of super new followers because my followers have been through the journey with me from the strip club, to be honest with you. So when I went during my whole culinary school, I'm a poster. Back then I posted a lot. So through my whole culinary school journey, through my whole internship journey, through all these like they're following my life. So I feel like for me, I mean, just being yourself because there's one thing can't nobody do is be you.
Listen, you ain't lying about that. You are not lying about that. And
You
that's one
see what I'm
thing.
saying? So,
Yeah, and that's one thing you can be authentically is yourself. Nobody can teach you how to do you, and that's one thing that if y'all don't remember that's on this little platform right now. Remember that. Just be yourself, please. Okay.
yeah.
Um.
Because you're able to be consistent. It's hard to be consistent if you're putting on a facade or you're a facade or you know what I'm
Facade.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like it's easier if you just be yourself. You could consistently be yourself.
Wow. Um. What are some challenges you face in the industry, and just kind of talk us through what you did to get over those challenges, whether it's just been African American female in the culinary industry, whether it's coming from your endeavors from kind of coming from being incarcerated to being a chef. What are some challenges you went through, and what are some things you do to get over those challenges?
My first and foremost challenge was me, to be honest. Like I had to get out my own way. And I feel like the way I was able to do that was surrounding myself with people who enabled me to get out my own way, that serve positive reinforcement. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my first issue was me. And it still is sometimes. Um, Another thing I had a huge problem with was posting on social media and stuff because I'm such a private person. And um, I've learned how to still be private and still post with a lot of the apps that they have out there, which now you can schedule your reels on Instagram or Meta and stuff, utilizing stuff like that. So I can post strategically and not feel like I need to post my business or put a personal scope into my life too much. Um, Another thing is, right, really differentiating myself between people who that some people call chefs and the people are chefs because in this industry um it's a whole lot of stuff going on and it's a whole lot of people, you know what I'm saying, like
No, I don't know what you're saying. Tell us what you're saying.
um there's a whole bunch of people pump faking on this app, and there's a whole bunch of people who, in their own means, because I'm never going to just outright shit on somebody's talent or where they are in their journey, but in their own mind, they are top chef of the world. But for me, I just always wanted to like be different. Like I always wanted to like separate myself. I'm not one of them. Like
Right.
I'm not a $30 a person type of chef. And
Then what are
then
you? What's your fee? If it's not $30 a person, is it less or more?
it's a lot more.
Okay,
Um,
she said a lot more.
it
Get your
is,
bag
but
together.
because I'm not just coming with some groceries and cooking the food. That's just not what I do. That's not my process. Like I don't have preset menus. I don't have. I create my guest menus. I do an intake process. I create menus. So like
Wow.
I'm not $30. That's cool if you get. I don't even know. I don't have nothing for $30 a person. I don't. I'll probably maybe a cookbook soon in the future, but I don't have anything that requires me to be there at $30 a person. Eggs cost too much. You
Now,
know what I'm saying?
is this fee? And we have to get into your numbers personally. Y'all go to
Mhm.
her website and book her. When because this is something I see in Atlanta. in other places too, but mostly since I've been in Atlanta, is chefs don't understand the difference between the purchasing price, the plate price, and what they should be charging for themselves. For example, if somebody did a dinner party for 20 people, they would charge $1,200, but that would be it. They would go buy the groceries with $1,200. They would try to whatever they need to buy for $1,200, and then pocket the rest of the money, and then that would be their profit.
Oh,
That's
I've been
that's
there
the
before
hustle.
in my journey.
That's the hustle. What do you
Mm-mm.
say to that to
L-
chefs?
Let me tell you this. I was kind of in that space, still kind of limbo, like in limbo with that when Clubhouse was around. And I remember actually Tobias was on a Clubhouse thing that we were on, and he was like, "Heck no, I'm making whatever my fee." I will never forget he said that. Whatever my fee is my fee, and anything else, like I'm guaranteed, I'm getting this much money. Period. Like not food, not this, not that, not other servers. Like this is my fee, and then everything else. And I never forget. And I was like, you know what? That is like real. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, how can I make this work for me? Well, it wasn't working for me because I felt like his way didn't register for me. So I start doing it like I know because I asked so many questions beforehand. I already know kind of in my mind food costs what it's going to be to make the menu that I gave you or that I'm about to give you. So it's like it's all about selling. I'm gonna be honest. Like you can package it as all you get in one price for all these things, but on the back end, you need to be making sure that price reflects all them things. That includes, like, for instance, the
For
private
sure.
chef experience. Want. Okay, that's cool. And you might not have all these lines up under on your invoice. You can do it all in one, but you need to make sure that adds up. All your people you need to hire, your food costs, how much you want to make, period. From off top, start with there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
For sure.
because but again, that comes back to confidence though. Because I feel like when you're in your journey and you're not that confident, when it comes to money, you start getting nervous or you start getting intimidated. So you don't really want to charge or you don't really want to, you feel like I'm not that I'm not that yet, so I can't charge that. Absolutely, you can. You know what
Now,
I'm saying?
now
Like,
on the flip side of that shit though, if you are charging those numbers, you got to deliver too. Like,
oh yeah,
if
value.
you're
You
charging
have to have the
125 a
value.
person, 125 person for a dinner party or whatever the case is, and this is something I seen, man, you right about the imposters and the capping. I've seen people shop. Now, me personally, because I'm a little bit of, I'm a little bougie shopper when it comes to food and groceries. So, they already know I'm going to Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and I'm going to the butcher to get stuff cut fresh. I'm not going to no damn
Right.
grocery store and buying food out of a pack. It's been sitting in the pack for 2 or 3 days. I don't know. I can't trust that quality of food, especially when I'm buying people, to have a
Charging
client
people all
cook
this
for me.
money. Yeah,
And
I'm not gonna charge you all this money and
yeah,
go to Kroger's and get
yeah.
steak.
Now, have I done catering gigs and went to Sam's? Of course, because catering is a little bit different. I
Yeah,
cater
for sure.
maybe 3 times a year. That's real talk. When it comes to weddings, I do 2 weddings a year. If you get me in the beginning, the end of the year, you got me. If you don't get me, like somebody just booked last week for a wedding in August of this year, and that's
Oh,
probably
that's good.
the only wedding I'm gonna do this year. Weddings are too stressful.
Yes,
Um,
they
I'm not a big fan of buffets. I think buffets are disgusting personally. Um, so what I did to kind of maneuver around the buffet, because everybody want buffets. The consumers or the clients only know what they know. We have a smarter client in 2023 because everybody watches the food shows and everybody got
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. People are smarter about food now. So what I suggested, and this is one for everybody listening, you can try it, give it a try if you want to. I created action stations. And I'm gonna tell you about action stations real quick. So I created these action stations. People, I want a buffet for my wedding. Da, da, da. I said, what about an
Mm-hmm.
action station? With action stations, you can actually control the food portions. So I do you can do whatever you want to do. I do an Asian station, an Italian station, a barbecue station, and a soul food
Mm-hmm.
station. And I'll hire my chefs at an hourly rate to man those stations. My 4 chefs are responsible for all their mise en place, all their prep. I'll buy all the food they need for it. So my 4 chefs control 100% of these stations. It could be 2 stations or 4 stations. It could be many stations you want. I do 4,
Right.
and they control all the stations. What happens if you got a wedding party of 100 to 200 people? Nobody's going to eat all 4 stations. First of all,
Right.
it's damn near impossible to eat all 4 stations. Somebody may try to do it, but it's damn near impossible. That minimizes my food purchase. I control my purchase cost because I know for station 1 and 2, which is the Italian station, the soul food station, probably going to be the high volume
Mm-hmm.
stations. There's shrimp over there. There's Alfredo sauce, and there's so the point
Mm-hmm.
is I can control my stations. I control my food costs. The plates are only the 7-inch plates, so you can't pile
Yeah.
it up on there. So there's little mechanisms I do to control the station. Plus, all my chefs have on these top white hats, the chef jackets, the apron.
The
My
experience.
the shit
Right.
looks top tier, but really it's just some look, man. Just go cook. It's some hibachi shit.
I started off at a waffle station, okay?
Listen,
I started off at a waffle
yes,
station in
yes.
DC on a rooftop brunch. That's where I started off, okay? And I was making them red velvet waffles too, putting them things on the top, the strawberries on top. I like that though.
Yeah.
Control cost. You control costs.
And that's the thing people can do. Now, do chefs actually cost out their menu? I'm going to say 80% probably don't cost their menu out. That means if you're doing a burger for your menu, with the lettuce, the buns, the ketchup, the mustard, the mayo, the cheese, what every component of that burger costs. That's your food cost. Then you do a 30% markup. That's how much you charge for it. Are chefs doing it for their whole menu? Hell no. I can guarantee they're not
So
doing it.
no.
They're
But let
they're
me tell you
they're
what I do though.
ballparking it. Go ahead though.
I'm a ball parker, and I'm a ball upper parker. So because I'd rather get more than less, more money than less. So
Okay.
for me, like let's say I have a dinner party for 15 people. I kind of know because what's the if you're working currently, what's the going rate of filet right now. How much it costs for the most part to get some strawberries and milk and cream. I mean, you kind of know. I mean, I feel like the people who don't really know is the people who just don't be doing it a lot. Because I be in these grocery stores and I be feeling like I could work there or something. You know what I'm saying? Not the exact breakdown, like one lettuce costs this much, but I could pretty much if I know we having short ribs, potatoes, want, unless it's something crazy on there, that I
Mhm.
pretty much ballpark, like you said. Are you supposed to probably niche do it all down tight wad? Yeah, but it's too much shit to do. And I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot of shit to do.
Well, and I'm gonna be honest. Food costing is a must, chefs. Food
It
costing
is.
is a freaking must. If you have to create a menu, right? And this is the reason that DeAndre McCarter said, "Yeah, food costing is a must." This is the reason why most restaurants fail within the first year because, and this isn't towards you. I want everybody to learn,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
This is the reason most restaurants don't do so well within the first year, simply because they just try to, all right, yeah, I know what this is going to cost. I figure if I charge $9 for a burger and I only pay $4 for the burger, I'm making some bank on it. But I promise you, chefs, if you just take a minute, and I mean, it may take you
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 days. Who cares? Get off freaking social media for 4 days. Do yourself that favor and cost out your entire menu. Next time you go grocery shopping for a dinner party, keep your receipts. Get an Excel
That's how
spreadsheet.
I do it.
Put your
That's the way I
cheese.
do it
Yeah.
that way.
And
Yeah.
then just put the price of everything you bought on that grocery list, and you may put Kroger, you may put Publix, you may put
Hmm.
Restaurant Depot, but now you have a running list of what everything costs. So that when somebody call you on the fly and want to get a
So
quick quote, you can quote them correctly and not cheat yourself and not overcharge your client.
I use HoneyBook, and HoneyBook actually has it where you can put in your expenses and you can label them and categorize them. So that's what I do. I put it in, I put all my receipts in for that dinner. I could tell it shows me the total. I divide it by whatever, and I can see how much per person that I paid on getting this shit taken care of. And I can kind of gauge in my mind what I bought that I didn't use, so I don't do it again the next time. You see what I'm saying? But
No,
I
I
guess
understand.
it's just different ways of doing it now. But I feel like for a restaurant, when you have a set menu, though, it's kind of different. You have a flat fee. You can operate around cost. However, you're going to experience markup in grocery store versus wholesale. Oh yeah, there's always going to be. That's why I think you should just get a fee, and food costs is on y'all, buddy. If y'all want to have truffles and all of this, that's on y'all. But regardless of what y'all doing, what y'all want, I need this much to do it. I like that approach.
Yeah. Deandra said, get yourself a meat guy, fish guy. Wake up early, go to the farm market, and you'll be surprised how much profit you will put in your pocket. Man, tons, tons.
Oh yeah.
I have a seafood guy now. Shouts out to my. I ain't gonna give away who he is. Nigga might try to get him, but shouts out to my seafood guy right now in Atlanta. Guy get it popping too. You know, I don't want them. I don't do it. Get his crabs because ain't no tags. So I don't know about that stuff. But the other stuff, I rock with the shrimp because the shrimp be some nice U10
Hitting.
shrimp
Yeah.
for the low price, whatever the case is. But yeah, you have to at some point, and this is not me talking as a chef family. This is me talking as a food and beverage director having to do inventory for these places, for these different establishments I've worked at, and inventory. Oh boy, be jacked up. Food costs be jacked up. Everything is just jacked up.
Wasting so much stuff.
Learning,
And
food waste be
yeah.
crazy. Just because they don't know how to cut a tomato the right way, and they just waste off a whole tomato. So I've been in places where I had to implement food cost control methods to where I had to build a food waste log. We had to do a spot inventory every Thursday and a wall to wall every once in a month. I mean, I had to go in and help build these systems to help save the restaurant or the establishment a lot of money. And then me doing that, I'm like, shit, I got to do it for
helped
myself
you.
too. Right.
Right.
So as a personal chef, unfortunately, we don't have a large inventory of things that we just keep on. Like we cook and that be the end of that. We may have some leftover seasoning after after a
Right.
gig, but we don't have a running inventory. So what I would like
Hmm.
to see is uh, personal private chefs. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere. I'm just not tapped into it, where we can share information on the platform and say, hey, this is what I do as a private personal chef. Even though I don't have a running inventory, here's how I kind of control the parts of my business. Whether it's me driving to the location and tracking my miles, whether it's me charging a convenience fee for the shopping, or whatever it is. Me
So,
personally, I have what's called a chef service fee, which is a flat rate,
hmm
which is like you said, chef said earlier. I know
hmm
off the top, I'm gonna get this for showing up, just being in the building. That's what I
hmm
get. Then I do per plate cost based on the menu. Then I charge for my servers. Then I charge for any other things they need, plates, forks. One smart thing I did do, and shouts out to Chef Chris Kyler for this, I invested in my own plates, my own glasses, my own forks. So I rent my stuff out when I do private chef gigs. They purchase my stuff for
so
rent.
that's what I do. Like a lot of people are
Smart.
like, how are you doing this? Like I set the table every time. I have all
Yeah.
this stuff, but it's two sides of that. I want to say this. When I first started, I had everything in my basement. And it was taking over my house because as a chef, I would go to Marshall's and it would be two fly ass plates. So I would get them two plates and then I would go somewhere else and it'd be eight plates and I thought it was nice. And then I ended up with eight plates of this kind. So I ended up with all this stuff that didn't make sense. All this mismatch stuff, not mismatch, but two of these, eight of these, four of these. So I have a storage unit and I pay $150 every month. I put shelves in there, I put totes in there. And that's where I store all my stuff. Every time on my invoices, I include that because if you go somewhere and rent the linen, the runner, go to the store, get flowers, flower vases, candle holders, napkins, charger plate, all the plates to cook every course, a fork, a spoon, a salad fork, a dessert plate, a dessert fork. You see what I'm saying? You get all this type of stuff. Like if you go to one of the rental places, it's gonna be $70 a person.
Easy.
Easy. And I'm just saying easy. So like for me, it's just like this is just that intertwined into, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yes, I bring all this stuff, but it is at a cost. It's not like it's for free that I'm bringing it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go and
Right,
get it
right.
and pack it and organize it and make sure it matches and it all looks together and the
Damn.
menu looks good with
S-
it. Want,
So
want, want, want.
so do you have an event coordinator that helps you do this, or are you doing this in the food? Like, do you focus on the food and do this? Would it be advantageous to just pay somebody per gig to help you do this part of it, and you focus on the food?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I like that part better. So I really
Oh,
want somebody to focus on the food.
uh oh,
You
uh
see
oh.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of how like
You
it
don't want to do
kind
the
of is.
food
Like,
part.
I mean, I like coming up with the menus and I love being super creative and I love trying things out, but I definitely don't I like the creative aspect. I love the tablescapes and I love like the colors and I'm just such a visual person. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part that I enjoyed the most on. So yes, I probably could. Um, yeah, I'm not. Mm-mm.
You're not gonna
I'd
do that.
rather find somebody to cook.
Dang, chef. I
I
thought you gonna.
do. I
I thought you wanted to chef.
No, no, I don't. Listen, as like I started, I love this chef stuff and I love the alignments that I made. Like I love that I like even knowing you, they don't know that me and you go back, but you my homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I love the other alignments that I've made in this space. But do I want to be here forever? Absolutely. Do I think God put me through all of this so I went through just to be in somebody's kitchen? Absolutely not.
Well,
You know what
listen.
I'm saying? So
Every time I like right here, every time I see you, like you having a fucking ball in the kitchen. Like you really enjoying the food part of it, and your food look freaking amazing.
I don't know. I'm just a have a good time type of person. So like, I don't know. It's just natural. Like if I'm gonna be sad and they're doing it, I probably wouldn't do it.
Right, right. It has to be
Cause I
something
don't
that you enjoy for sure.
cause my mind don't work like that. So yeah, that's kind of like, I don't know, that plate situation, like I was saying, there's two sides to it. Now the other side of it, don't get caught up on going to go buy all this stuff and waste your money on all this stuff if you don't plan on really utilizing it in a consistent way. Because what'll happen is you'll invest all this stuff and then you'll end up not having time and wanting somebody else to do it. Utilize the rental places around you. There's a lot of smaller rental places that don't have big minimums, because that's what I
Sure.
run into a lot of the times where they want a minimum. So you're like, dang, I only got a party for 10. I need purple and pink polka dot napkins. You know what I'm saying? They want me to buy 40. They want me to rent 40 of them. You know what I'm saying? But
Uh
there
huh.
is usually in every city, there's smaller ones that definitely, if you go in there and say you're a private chef and that you're doing this and you're going to tell them that you're going to tag them where you got it from, they're going to work. They're going to work with you. Especially if you're going to keep coming back all the time, then they're going to waive the minimums. You know what I'm saying?
And you
So,
begin to build that relationship with them, and that's
yeah.
always, excuse me, it's always a good idea to have those vendors in your side pocket, kind of like what DeAndre was saying earlier about getting you a fish guy or getting you somebody that you can reach out to, and I mean, like every time I come across your stuff like this right here, the food looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
The food
I'll be
looks
trying.
absolutely amazing. Like everything looks like it has its own purpose on the plate, its own taste, its own situation. You put the what's that? Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. They're
Wow,
tossed in yuzu. It's like yuzu vinaigrette tossed, deep fried Brussels sprouts with yuzu vinaigrette. Yeah.
wow. Now, where do you get your recipe creative niche from? Do you kind of just do you are you one of those chefs that wake up Saturday morning and go to the market, or you one of those chefs that like just read cookbooks all day? Like, how do you come up with your creativity when it comes to your menu?
I feel like everything. I don't feel like it's one thing. I definitely know I need to go to the store and come home and play with stuff. I don't do that as often anymore because I be busy. But like I really need to start putting some time aside to do that more often. But I'm more of like I understand the concept of food. So like I like
Yeah.
texture. I like stuff to have a sweet component or this component, a cold. Like I just like things to synchronize in a way. So I guess I
Right.
think about that first. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, because I don't know. It's just weird how it all connects in my brain. If I know I'm having, if they want Italian, but they don't like spicy, you take all these things into account,
Hmm.
and then I don't know, you just pull them from all your. And then you have cookbooks. Sometimes I'll be like, all right, I'm getting so redundant on these dressings. Let me go find me a new dressing to mess with. So then I go find me a book down there. I got a whole bunch of books. Find one, start looking through, like, oh, I ain't never tried this. You know what I'm saying? Put my little own twist to it, add a little of this, take a little of this out, and try. I mean, and then oftentimes, once I get a winner, I play that back. Like when I see some of my clients keep going crazy about something, as long as like the dietary restrictions are the same, I'll run that back a couple of times. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Just cause like,
For sure. For sure.
um,
Now, you have a lot of media on your platform, like reels and Have you ever thought about just hiring a camera guy to follow you around, somebody you know to just follow you around at these different gigs and actually making like your own personal
Please,
documentary?
please, if you're out there, please, I need you.
They're you know what I
I know
started
I just
doing?
don't have a big budget for it. I just don't have
No,
a big budget for it.
and I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what, because I spent. Man, I don't want to talk about how much I spent thousands of dollars on that type of shit, right? And I watch people on social media go from ashy to classy on a damn cell phone, doing little skits on a cell phone, and they have 1 million followers now. So having a camera guy follow you around, I had to learn the hard way. It's not that important. The new iPhone 14, the fifth, whatever the newest one is, it has a cinematic. A
I have
cinematic.
that.
Let me tell you something. The next 18 videos you're going to see on my page are going to be shot with an iPhone. I'm going to pay a guy $45 to edit it the right way for me, and that's going to be the whole budget right there. I promise you. And if you have, because you have older children like I do, if you don't get one of your older children to get them $30, $40 to come to this, just follow me around with his phone and turn it sideways. You can get everything I do and pay
I'll
$45 to
be
get it edited.
trying with my daughter. She don't be trying to help
So you
me.
try
I've
to
been
hit
trying for years.
it.
Man, for years I've
Grab
been
your
trying.
mama.
Man, she do not be on it. And she's not a she's just not a take a picture type of person. Like she wants to do photography, but as far as her naturally knowing, you know what I'm saying? She's not a picture taker herself. So
I
she's
got
just
you.
really not. But I need to really dedicate that to
That's the
somebody
game changer for me. That's the game changer for me. It's that damn iPhone. Fuck all that
because
camera.
I have the iPhone. I got a ring light right here. I got 13 things. I got all the things. I got studio lights, big
Turn
ones,
that shit
backdrops.
on cinematic version. Turn your light on, and when you in the kitchen, the next gig you do, set it up, turn that camera on, and just record yourself. Don't just keep doing what you're doing. Don't even pay, you can edit it later. You can always edit this stuff later, and you only need 3 minutes of film. You can
Yeah.
record for 30 minutes, and you need 3 minutes. That's all you need. It's
Now
a
you've been
game
seeing
changer.
lately though. I stepped it up.
This is what I'm saying. You own it.
I've
You
been
own it.
talking. I've been talking in front of because you know that's a huge thing for me. Once social media became, and I know a lot of people will feel me like when it was just fun and games, it was more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Then when you start having something like I got to be intentional, I'll be like, oh boy, I can't stand it because it's like another job. You know what I'm saying? So for a long time, I was not doing it, or I just wasn't taking it serious. Now though, I definitely been coming in front of the camera while I'm there and definitely at least saying something to the camera or getting me.
Man, Chef, people love to hear you talk. You would be amazed. People love to hear you talk. People love to hear your story. I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm booked for 7 speaking gigs in the next 3 weeks. And I ain't even come
Where
just talking. People love to hear your story. They love to hear you
yeah.
talk about stuff. I'm trying to figure out I already figured out already how I'm about to get paid from this shit too, telling my story and talking
Oh
about it.
well,
You have such a
so you
phenomenal
know,
story. You have to
I
talk about
already
it.
do speaking engagements, but I really need to take like when you said do focus on one thing at a time.
Mhm.
I'm was set to start working with somebody to help me, you know, really hone in on some keynotes and some speeches because that's kind of an issue for me. But I'll be working on my business. I can't do one thing at a time. You see why I can't do one thing at a time? Because look, I need to be working on speaking and I need to be cooking still because that's where my money is at right now.
I tell you what, Chef, if you were to marry the two, if what like this video right here, while you're just cooking, if you just talk to us while you're cooking, you can do both at the same time.
Uh,
And just tell us growing up, I didn't have no damn lobster. Like, I didn't eat this growing up, bro. I couldn't afford this growing up. This is what I ate growing up, and here's why. But now
don't play because I'll be on there
I'm
like,
telling
man,
you,
listen.
turn that camera on and just talk to the camera while you're cooking your food. And every now and then, just remind us what you're cooking. You know what I'm saying? And for the recipe, click
Yeah,
right here. But you're telling your story and let the food be your podium and you just talk. I told people today, cooking is my passion, but it's not my gift. Teaching is my gift. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So cooking may just be your passion, and your gift is the gift of speaking and connecting to people, and maybe what you went through in life, telling your story to 2,000 people. I mean, I'm telling you, it's life changing for
yeah,
people, and you're able to save lives, man. People love a good story. Thank you, Dave. Everybody tapping in over here in the chat. Shouts out, people love a good story, man. If you're able to just tell
yeah,
your story about what you went through, your journey, and how you overcame that, because people need to know how to overcome stuff now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody cooking. TikTok got everybody cooking right now. That's cool. So the food part is not even
That's the easy part.
right. That's the
To
easy
be
part of
honest,
cooking.
yeah.
How did you get to the part of cooking coming out of prison? How do you get to the part of cooking and overcoming these obstacles just as a young black man with the struggles of being black every day and worrying
Right.
about this, worrying about that, or being a dad, or being a divorcee, or being a single mom? How do you conquer those parts of it and still have fun what you're doing? That's what people want to hear, bro. They want to hear your story. How do I overcome adversity and still cook cool food and still make it look
So
easy?
you're right. You ain't telling me nothing that everybody in my life is telling me. But
It's just
you
affirmation.
know what I do with this camera thing. I don't know why, but I do not like the camera.
Well, how about
I
this?
don't.
What if you
But the
knew that?
cooking with my voice, that's different though.
What if you knew by doing what you do could change lives, by talking to people, because you got like 100 speaking engagements on here. Like, you're actually talking. You're on stage. You're in front of audiences talking to people. You're in schools, like outreach programs. People, you got their attention. And here's a cool thing about when you come into the room, the energy shifts to you automatically. You don't even know why. You didn't even say anything yet. People
I
are
know.
on the edge of their seats, like, "Ooh, there she is. Who is she? I don't know who she is, but she got something good to say. I know she do." And you just
Look at
talk
her.
to
She got
people.
all them tattoos that look like she been to prison. It's like, no.
you got, or you know what? That could be a misnomer, because a lot of white chefs are tatted up too, and they don't have no
I
prison
know.
record. So, you know what I'm
None.
saying? We should be
And
able to
I didn't
flaunt
get not
our art.
and I didn't get none of mines in prison. Not
You,
one.
side note, you do got a lot of ink though. You do got a lot of ink.
Mm.
But definitely be willing to share and tell your story with everybody, man. Anytime you in the kitchen touching food, you should be explaining what it took for you to get to where you are. And you tell your story over and over and
Yeah.
over and over, and
I be
continue to
feeling
be
like I don't be wanting to
transparent.
keep. It's like, all right, it's on my page. I don't want to keep talking about it over and over
No,
again.
no,
But I
because
need to
everybody don't
do
follow
that.
you. Everybody
Right.
don't know who you are yet. People don't follow you
I
yet.
know.
So you got to
You're
tell.
right.
I've spoke at 7 schools. I got to tell my story 7 times, the same story, to 7 different audiences over and over. Even though that they can Google me and find out, I got to tell it 7 different times. It's something about people talking to you directly and connecting with you that makes them feel a part of your journey. Now when
Hmm.
they follow you, the new followers that you obtain by telling your story, it's intentional. Like, they
Right.
intended to follow you. They didn't
Like I
happen to
like.
see you on somebody's
That's why I
page or
like
tag
my new.
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, I like my new followers. My new followers, not saying I don't like my old, but my new ones are intentionally here. I kind of
Yes.
got my other followers just like people that just came about. But now the followers I'm getting, yes, it's at a yes, I'm losing followers and gaining it. So like my numbers aren't going crazy, but
Right.
I'm okay with that because it's replacing people with a meaningful community versus just a big following. I don't care about the numbers. I care about the impact. I care about, you know what I mean, who's tuned in for the right reasons. If you're here for some ass, like you might get it once, twice a year, but that's all you're gonna get. You're gonna get some motivational speaking. You're gonna get this food. You're gonna see me having fun. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna hear my story, but I just try not to be super. But you're right. I have to do it. I have to keep. Like I said before, getting out your own way. That's a big problem that a lot of people have, and I still got it. So I definitely got to get on that. So if you see me talking
And
over
you
some
will.
food tomorrow,
Listen, or how about this right here? Let's say that you are somebody recording. You're recording yourself. You can put a camera at the end of a table, and somebody's recording you setting up your whole tablescape, and you explaining to the camera, just talking how therapeutic this is because you had a pretty jacked up weekend. I just feel like, doing some new table designs, whatever case. If you're interested in booking, book me now, and you just set the table up, and then you cook your food and you're talking, and you sit down at your made up table and talk about what you just did. You have so many people tap into you. I've learned that
right?
over the past month that, yeah, I can cook. People see food. Yeah, that's Chef Ponder. But when like, my views on my other page and me just talking got way more views than me cooking a steak.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Hmm.
damn, but I cooked the
That's
steak
how
though.
it's
It's good.
always been like that for me on social media. I chalk it up like people just want to see the person. Like, all right, you could cook and your food be looking slap, but what you
Who
got
are
to
you?
say? Because
Right,
you
right,
know
right.
what I'm saying? What you got to say?
Who are you?
So I recently I wanted to bring this up. So I know a lot of chefs and a lot of people I've heard about this Chat GPT. So you know that, right? You know what that is, right?
I have no idea. I'm under a rock for a lot of stuff. I'll
Oh
be
my
honest.
God. Oh man,
I, I,
this
I'm
this is a
not
game
Google.
changer.
Okay.
So chat, I'll answer what he's saying. What made you know that you wanted to take cooking seriously? I love cooking, but it's on level I want to take it to. Can I just start with a few classes? For me personally, like I knew I wanted to take cooking serious when I know I needed to make a consistent living for my or some type of stabilization in my house, and I'm not about to do nothing half-assed. So when I decided I was going to be a chef, I didn't know what type of chef, what type of this to that, but I know I was about to go hard at it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's when I took the leap. But I feel like if you already work in a restaurant or something, and if you are interested in cooking and don't work, have never worked in food service, I would say go work in food service at least once, and just to see, because a lot of people from the outside looking in thinking it's fun. It's a different type of, it's not all fun and games. It's a different demand. Your back, your neck, I know a lot of people I went to culinary school with the first week. By day 5, they never came back because it wasn't for them. You know what I'm saying? So I tell a lot of people like school will teach you a few things, but that's not really, school ain't gonna let you know if you're gonna want to do it or not. Seriously, go get you a job at somebody's restaurant or go work for somebody's catering company or private chef business that you, whatever in the lane that you want to do, and go. That's how you gonna go see if you like. Let me shadow you. Let me see. Let me work with you. Let me do it for free. You know what I'm saying? Let
For
me
sure. Yeah,
get my
yeah.
feet in and see if this is what I want to do. And I feel like then gauge it. And then if it's something that you want to do, go take classes. I'm not against it. I know people that ain't never took a day of culinary school. I know people who did CIA. I know who people did community colleges. I did. I went to school, but it's up to you and how you learn. You could go learn on your own, but me,
Now,
if
now,
you got the money, but if you
hold
got
on.
the money and the time, you should go to school.
Now, I was a huge advocate for culinary school. Then I was against it. I'm a culinary graduate. Did culinary school enhance my aptitude and knowledge of cooking? Hell yeah. Not just I know how to cook already, but the nuances of understanding the hospitality industry, because
Hmm.
there's chefs who just cook, and that's fine. Like, I've hired chefs to cook,
Right,
but I'm out front kissing babies and shaking hands and making the fucking money. Okay,
right.
like I'm the P Diddy of the culinary. Go ahead and sing and dance and rap and go cut an album and go buy a Mercedes or something. Like, that attitude,
Yeah,
that attitude is the attitude you almost have to have these days of being a chef. Yeah, learn how to cook. That's great. But when you're 55 and 62, 65, you can't stand on your feet for 16 hours no more, bro. Like, we have
that's
to
why
think
you say
about,
I don't want to cook.
right,
I
we have
just
to think about, like, and this is something that Darius Cook's interview talked about, that I think that really resonated with me. Is we said, like, all right, you can cook, what else? And a lot of chefs
right.
don't have a what else. Like, shit, I don't know. Do you know how to open a restaurant? Do you understand the operating costs? Do you understand your soft costs? Do you understanding a P&L statement? Do you have a HACCP? Do you know what HACCP is? When it comes to asking those hard questions, I'm not saying culinary
Hmm.
school has the answers, but you have to know this stuff. And if you don't know the answers to these questions, then unfortunately you're gonna be the cook in the back, and you're gonna put out nice plates and nice food, and I'm gonna own the restaurant, okay, and I'm gonna give you a salary while I'm making millions. I'll give you 65,000, 75,000 a year as a good executive chef. I'll give you that. You can live off 75,000 a year. I'm pretty sure you can. But that's it. The buck stops there. So David, I would encourage you to not only take the cooking part serious, but the education behind it serious as well.
And
Like,
the reason why I was kind of saying like you don't
mhm,
have to, because everybody's circumstances is different. Like who
fact.
am I to tell you to go? Because culinary school for me, I would have to go long days. Like the classes wasn't no hour class; it was like
Oh,
4 hour
yeah, yeah, yeah,
classes.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah. That's facts.
the only reason why it worked for me is because I was a stripper at nighttime. I didn't go to work, so the cooking school was closed. You see what I'm saying? But like people have to work and people have kids and commitments. So I don't know people's flexibility and their money. Like they might have exhausted their grant money back in the day. They have to pay for it this time or whatever their circumstances is. Like if you don't have the means and the time to do it, there is other ways. You can't just, don't feel like you can't never be a chef if you can't never go to culinary school. But if you got the means and the time, I would say go, because it's just certain things. Certain people that work with me, I could tell the difference between the young ones that's been not the seasoned ones. We ain't talking about them, but the younger ones, I could tell the ones that's been to school and not been to school, because it's little things that I could say to them that they know. It's
Right.
stuff. It's
Right.
certain. It's not the holy grail, but it's definitely stuff that you learn. You know what I'm saying? That I feel like that you need to learn wherever you learn it from, if that makes sense.
Sure, sure. I have one more question for you, Chef, in here. It says, this is DeAndre said, I'm building my startup capital from my industry. How do you build your capital?
I started from the mud. I wasn't no building nothing. I bought me an LLC and a chef coat from online. And you see what I'm saying? I didn't come into the game with no startup capital. Like my startup capital was my drive. Do you probably should do? Everybody's circumstance is different, but for me, I didn't do it the correct way. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of thugged it. And as I made money, I put the money back in. As I made money, I put the money back in. I had money coming from somewhere else, so I wasn't stressing for that money to pay my bills, but I was just kept until I was able to stop doing what I was doing. Now I'm not a stripper and I'm just a chef. You see what I'm saying? So I feel
A
like,
dancer, an exotic dancer.
no, I was a stripper.
You was an exotic dancer, not a stripper. So you went from stripping to was it jail stripping chef or
Hmm.
stripping jail chef? Okay, cool. I mean, listen, that's the
It
story.
happens. I mean,
That's the
at the end of
story.
the day, I came home with no avenue. This was a legal way for me to make money. I could do it while
Right,
my kids were sleeping.
right.
I didn't have to miss PTO. I was at every baseball game, every softball game, every choir concert. You see what I'm saying? And it helped my lifestyle. And I was able to go to school all day and I don't
No,
have to
that makes
worry
sense.
about, you know what I mean? So that was
Right.
my story. Please don't go be a stripper for that reason. I can help you get some other money to get you
Chef
through
Janese
school.
said, Chef Janese
Mm-mm,
said,
don't
I
do
can
it.
do this like this right here. Um, Hell King Wally said, as a chef or someone in the food service industry, what should be your ultimate end goal? I would say that your ultimate end goal, and Chef can piggyback on this. It will vary from chef to chef. I just met a chef down in I was in Alabama Tuesday. This guy is an executive chef of Auburn University. So big shouts to Auburn University down in Alabama, and he ran the entire operation. He probably had, like, I don't know, 5 or 6, maybe 7 executive chefs working for him. He ran the 2 hotels and the campus of AU culinary team, and he was pretty
Mm,
jacked about that. Like I think he's gonna be there for at least 10, 12 years. Like some people love that. I know chefs who um own restaurants, and they probably gonna own restaurants for the rest of their life. I know chefs who work for Aramark, Sodexo, and Compass Group, and they're gonna be
mm-hmm,
there for 20, 35 years. I know private chefs out in LA, and they've been doing it for a nice little period of time, 15, 16 years. They're probably gonna keep doing it. It varies from chef to chef. I would say this, and I'll pass the mic. Every chef end goal should be to not be in the kitchen at some point and still find a reputable way to generate income for what you know. Yes, you're cooking in the kitchen, but where are your hot mitts? Where are your own pans that you created? Where's your own knife? Where's your knife kits? Where's your aprons at that you made? Where's your cutting boards at? And this stuff don't
mm-hmm.
cost any money to do, family. You can go to Alibaba and you could, man, it's so easy now. But yes, cook, but at some point, your goal should be to transition out of the kitchen and become the subject matter expert and have people pay you to tell them how to cook. That's my two
And
cents.
well, first of all, your body is not going to be on your side forever.
Hell
It's
nah,
just not. You know what I'm saying?
don't
Like
work
we
that way.
standing up. I'm tall, so when I be like,
Back. Ugh.
man, what? I'm always hunched down, back be hurting, neck. I'm only about to be 40. Like I shouldn't be feeling like this, but I feel like I feel like your end goal should be whatever you want your end goal to be, because it's going to vary. Some people get out of, they be like, I am not cooking in this no more. I'm about to go work for a corporation, go teach somewhere, make some money. But some people just be like, I don't want to cook no more, period. They do go do
Yep.
something else. You know what I'm saying? They
Yep.
tired of that. Some people, like you said, do it for everybody different. Like, I don't know. Because I know my end game is to not be cooking in the kitchen, whatever way I need to be. And I love food, but I definitely know if I don't know nothing else, I don't want to be standing up, hunched over, cooking at 60.
Right. Because I think now 2023 as a chef, you don't have to cook your whole life anymore. There was a time, y'all,
Yeah,
that folks look like us, they had no choice but to cook the whole time. Um, but
for
it's different
real.
now. So I have a
I
quick
told you
question
my
for you.
grandma was a chef for 60 years at the same
Wow,
place. 60 years. She cooked for the priest at the same place,
that's crazy.
Monday through Sunday. Because they
That's
had to eat.
crazy.
That's where they lived. They lived all over the world, and they was at this Catholic school, and she was the cook for that priest house for
That's
60 years.
that's
You see what
crazy.
I'm saying? So like, I don't want to do that for 60 years. I got ADHD a little bit. I need to be doing a little this, a little this, a little this, a little this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
but
It's
some
something totally
people
different.
have the temper. Yeah, some people have the temperament to do the same thing for a long time. That's why I don't think there's no black and white answer to his question. You know?
That's fact. No, and I definitely um agree with that. Here's a question directed to you though. Do you feel like you've earned a spot in the ranks of the great chefs of the industry? You feel like your name could be mentioned with the other great chefs in the industry, whether it's a Bobby Flay or whether it's a Rachel Ray or whether it's a Ron Sanchez or any
No.
of these. What? Why
No,
not? Shane,
and
what the
let me
hell?
tell you why. Because
Please.
I'm not one of them. That's not my grade. So like when I think about that's not who I don't that's not who I compare myself or aspire to be like. I don't want to be Bobby Flay. I don't want to be Rachel Ray. I don't want to be like I, I don't know. So no, and not because I can't. It's just or I don't feel like I have the skill capacity. It's just because I don't aspire to be alongside of them. They're not my greats. My greats is like philanthropist people that's really doing work out here on these streets. You know what I'm saying, with the people in the community and really making impact and change. I don't care about having. I don't care about that type of stuff. I never care. You know what I'm saying? Like. Um, I can never wear. I don't need a James Beard and a this and this and a this and this, nigga. I just need to get through to a lot of people and make, change and do God's work. I don't. I don't
Wow.
aspire to be none of that. But it ain't no shade to the people that do. But I just don't personally am not thrilled.
I mean, I personally think that shit kind of played out. Um,
Yeah.
Respectfully, I mean, because I've met a lot of them in real life, and it's like, man, y'all are regular people, and a
And
lot of them,
y'all don't got no for real personality. Not for real, for real. Like some do, but it'd be
yeah,
like
boy,
y'all
yeah,
corny as hell.
yeah, a lot of them dry as hell. But and even speaking with Chef Tregay, who I interviewed a little while ago, she kind of spoke to that side of things, the Food Network or the glitz and the glamour side of things, or whatever the case is. And I mean, they're just regular ass people, but the population see those people so much, and there's not a huge representation of African Americans in the culinary industry on a national level. And there's some
Right.
really, really, really dope ass chefs. Like I
Yes, there
personally,
is.
shouts out to Chef Corey White. I think he's down in Miami right now. This brother,
I ain't hip.
whew, you're not, because he's not on that social media shit. Like he may
I know.
post once or
It
twice a
be
month.
people like that though. It's a
This
lot of people
this
shaking and
brother
moving
is
like that.
so thorough with his food. Uh, uh, Working in New York, James Beard Awards winning
Yeah.
chefs. What do you call it when they get the little diamond? I guess the diamond, whatever rating they get for the restaurant.
Uh-huh.
This brother is thorough. Not big on social media. Never have. I try to encourage him. He's like, brother, I'm not really with that shit. You know what I'm saying? He's getting paid top tier dollars as a chef right now, working in Miami
And
as
don't
a
need
to the
social
island.
media. I love that
He
for
don't
him.
care. Like he don't care. And then some of the chefs like that, that just don't care for that side of things. But they're really good chefs. Me personally, I have never claimed to be the best damn chef. Michelin star, thank you, Hell King. Michelin star. I've never claimed to be the best chef. But if you put me on a treadmill beside the best chef, I bet I'll run his ass. I'll die before I stop moving. And that's just the
What?
hustle in me, you know.
And see, me, I look at it like I'm more than just a chef. So when I talk about me, I be
Right.
thinking like you put me on, you might cook this fish better than me, but I'm finna have everybody crying in here and praying to God and saying hallelujah and ready to pray at the end of the day. So you like your little dish, you might have did a fancier ass dish, but like my impact was bigger. So fuck your
Yeah,
plate, if
that's
that
it.
makes sense.
No,
For me, like
that
I
makes
don't.
complete sense to me. And that's one of the things I say too. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to be compared to any other chef. Like that's something that I
Yeah,
just don't want to be compared to. You know what I'm saying? And if they could, people are probably comparing people right now because the
that's what
shit
people do.
the shit
Yeah.
happens so very often. So so what one of the last questions I got for you is
Mhm.
any words of wisdom or advice you can give to up and coming chef that may want to get started, about to get started, want to jump into the industry or whatever the case is? What words of wisdom can you offer them right now?
First of all, I would say, as I tell the kids when I go to the schools and speak, utilize the resources that you have. You have all these resources that you scroll on every day that you can genuinely build good relationships with other chefs that's doing what you're doing or doing things that you want to know more about. Create, don't expect somebody to give you the game for free, but create genuine relationships, and that shit will pay off. Because it's each one teach one out here. There ain't no manual how to be a private chef. Yeah, we got Chefpreneur Academy and different people trying to tell you, but there ain't. We out here thugging it. We black chefs in the industry, and if you ain't black, just follow along. Um, we out here thugging it, trying to learn and trying to grow and try to be the best and a lane in the industry that kind of shunned us a little bit. So utilize your folks, utilize the people that you have on your social media, reach out to more, follow some of the best, like I said, create relationships with them. And two, if I could say anything else is know your target market. I know it sounds crazy and I know it sounds so like redundant. Everybody keeps telling you that. Know your target market. Who you selling to? Target avatar. Like I remember hearing that for years, and it took years later. Now I finally understand who my target market is, and because I understand who my target market is, I know how to advertise for them. I know where to go get the people that I want to target. And target market is ain't like, oh, I want to cook for rich people. No, I mean like who is your target market? Where do they go to find people like you? Where do they eat? What experiences do they have? How can you speak to them when it comes to marketing your business? I would really, really, really take that serious because it's so like a lot of people don't even, you know how it is, like they don't
Yeah,
know that. So if
right.
you end up making content or making promotional stuff and you don't really know who you talking to, you just making cool sounds and da da da. You have to tune into who you talk. Like if your target market is young people, then you do need to use younger sounds. You might need to be on TikTok more. You see what I'm saying? Because the
Yeah,
younger crowd is certain places. If you want older people, or you want elite people or celebrity people or whatever these people, you have to know what you want so you will know how to go get them and how to speak to them directly for them to find you. You know what I'm saying? Because I
yeah,
spend a
for
lot of
sure,
time not really knowing.
for sure. And the other side of that coin is what she's saying. People, you have to do what's called a SWOT analysis. I know people may not heard of it. It's an old school term, maybe not, I don't know. The SWOT analysis help you out a lot. You know, understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats also
Yep.
will help you transition into that place too. So, what's next for you, Chef, for 2023? What does it look like for you?
2023. So I work with a chef. I work with Chef Nikki. So I travel with her. And like aside from my business, I do that too. This year, I'm just getting to the money. I'm not gonna lie. Like I spent a lot of time like just in a shell in a bubble, went through some stuff, lost my mom. I'm getting to the money, I'm traveling, Having intentional, like if I want to take a vacation, I'm being super intentional, just working on not really adding too much to my business, but perfecting what I already
Mm,
have. You
I know
know what
that's
I'm
right.
saying? And really working it and really perfecting it. So I can walk away because when it's perfect, I can delegate it to somebody else. So that's big for me. And yeah, just traveling with my little chef gang friends that I love so much. And that's what's up. And we out here. Shoot, LA next. I just came from Super Bowl weekend. So
Oh, really? How was that? Was it crazy? Was it
um,
intense? Was it fun?
yeah, it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. The experience, I ain't gonna lie. I don't care. God aligned me with my chef friends. People say no new friends. I do not believe in that. Your old friends will have you somewhere stuck in a toxic ass friendship. I'm cool with that. Shout out to my day ones, but my new friends, I love them. They create an atmosphere that I don't care where we at. It's going to be a good time. Even if it's hard work in the trenches, it's still good energy for me. So Super Bowl was good. I missed them, and we got to work together in a different type of space with a different type of in a different city. So
Yeah.
it was cool. I didn't care who won or lost the Super Bowl, to be honest. So I was just like, is there a dispensary open? So
Right. You just listen, I'm gonna roll up wherever the case is. I know that's
yeah,
right. I know that's right. Well, listen, man. Chef Jay Boston, Chef Janese, Chef Nina. I forgot about the Nina part. I just
I
seen the
know.
plan. I know. Wow. Chef Nina. Chef Nina.
That's
Go
a
look.
funny story.
Go look her up. Follow her on Instagram. You can actually just Google. You have a lot of content on Google, which is pretty phenomenal.
I like to throw that out there every now and then when somebody try to shit
Yeah.
on me or something like nigga Google me. Like, oh.
Listen, that's important. Just you
I
can
feel
Google me.
proud about that because I used to Google me and my case used to come up and nothing else. Now
Wow.
you
Look at
Google
that.
me and nothing negative comes up.
Right.
So yes,
That's powerful. That's powerful stuff.
yes.
Well, thank you for joining. I'm gonna put you backstage just for 3 minutes when I wrap up. I'm gonna
Mhm.
holler at you again before we totally get out of here. So thank you again, everybody. Go follow her right now on Instagram. Shouts out to the Avenue. The Avenue is going crazy in the chat right now. Facebook. Listen, Facebook picking up, and this show is going to be great. I'm telling
Mhm.
y'all, because I don't know of any other. It may be out there. I don't know about it, but my show is going to be the shit. So coming up next, we have what's her name? Oh, she's gonna kill me. Chef.
Couture.
Well, Chef Couture is in
That's
March.
okay.
She's in March. The chef. She was on. She helped Chef Gordon Ramsay. Hold on, but she helped Chef Gordon
Oh,
Ramsay.
I just seen her. Yeah. I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
her
She
flyer.
helped Chef Gordon Ramsay build her whole entire situation. And
Oh yeah,
Chef
that's her right
Andy,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Chef Andy. She's on the show next week. Then I have Chef Willis. Chef Willis, yes, Chef Willis.
That's
Kanye's
Kristen. Kristen.
Kanye's West Chef.
Oh, okay.
Dwayne's Wade personal chef. Chef Couture. She cooking French Montana and everybody. She's on here. I
I
got a
love that for you, Ponder. Like, I think your show is going to be
thank you.
excellent because I feel like you understand. Like, you've been around the block, you've been around a lot of us chefs, you kind of
For sure.
know, you've traveled, you've been in different parts. Like, I feel like you get it, and I feel like you were before when Chefpreneur first started. I don't feel like people got it. I think they get it now.
Yeah, they didn't get it. They didn't get it. It was
They
a
get it
struggle.
now.
It was a struggle.
You was ahead of your time, but you stayed the course, and now they get it now. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like,
So,
oh, we actually need this shit. This is pretty cool. And then for my international family, um, we're going back to Nigeria. Chef Muse is going to be in for Nigeria. We just had two other
oh,
Nigerian
nice.
chefs. I got a chef from Ethiopia, a chef from Kenya, two chefs from Kenya coming up too. So I'm doing the international chefs too, because these chefs overseas are tight. Let me tell you
Yeah,
something.
that's what I need to
They
follow
fucking
all of
blowing
them.
up. Listen,
Yeah,
man, they are off the chain, man. They're more excited, I think, to be on the show than I am to have them. Just to have opportunity to be in front of other American chefs. Not
other.
that they need our stamp of approval now. Don't get it twisted. They got their
Just
own
the
thing going on.
exposure, yeah, to like,
It's the exposure, and they be so excited about it. And when I
yeah,
bring them on at 7:30 at night here, it's actually like 2 in the morning there, and they're up and they're ready to be on the show. So shouts out to them for
what's
doing that
up?
for me, and I appreciate it. So
Right.
be looking out for the international side of things too with my chefs. Big shouts to Nigeria. My Nigerian chef's been holding me all the way the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it. I love y'all a lot. She's coming up on the 23rd, and that'll wrap it up for Black History Month. But then going into March, we're gonna wrap it up again. And then I spoke to Chef Jr. I'll be bringing Chef Jr. back. Gonna talk to him a little bit more. He and I are putting together a actual panel, actual chef panel, like an actual webinar. We're gonna
Oh,
kick
okay.
that off with Chef Jr. I'm gonna reach out to Chef Aleem and other chefs who are actually owning restaurants and get them here in front of everybody and do like a 6 man panel. Just talk to the
Mm.
chefs about the people who actually doing the fucking work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna bring you back on here too and talk everybody I've had on my show up until March. I'm gonna bring us back on here and just do a 2-part webinar series so chefs can actually talk to you guys directly,
yeah,
a call in
yeah,
line and everything. So I didn't hear my voice the whole time. I want you to hear what they're asking, and not even chefs. I
yeah.
have a guy that who works for Cisco for like 13, 14 years. Eric, he actually is the CEO. He runs the Avenue live stream. The Avenue. You have to get your ass over to the Avenue. If you are a chef, if you're a
What
home
is the avenue?
listen to
Explain
me.
that. Explain
Down.
it real fast,
Listen,
because I was looking, but I didn't get it.
I'm glad you asked. The Avenue. It's a streaming platform. You go. I send you a link. I send you my link. Right. You click the link. Take 2 minutes. Create the account. Anytime you go live, you can click the shit and go live. It gives you the opportunity to earn money while you're going live. So let's say you go live on Instagram and you might get 100 people tuned into it. You might get a couple likes, whatever, and then you click off and that be the end of it. With the Avenue, whatever video you go live with, you can charge people to come watch you or just let them come in for free, but you set up 2 tip jars. Like right now, I'm over here right now,
Mm.
somebody already tipped me $2 already since I've been on talking to you. I think last time I made like $45, $60 just for going live. And it's for chefs, it's for bartenders, for chef, anybody in the food service industry. Instead of going live and not get paid anything, create an Avenue account, go live on the Avenue, encourage people to come follow you on the Avenue. So when you go live over there, you actually earn money while doing it. They have a
Uh,
challenge called Ballot a Bottle for bartenders, and they got thousands of dollars. They got like Pepsi Cola and heavy sponsors over there. So I encourage chefs to go over there,
mm.
take the time, create an account. I put the link in my comment box so you guys can see it. Once I click off here, click the shit, sign up. It takes 2 minutes to sign up for it. Download the app. Anytime you go live, just turn it on.
Say
What I
two again. Say the number two again.
two
T. You said
two. I'm
T.
not from. Yeah, I don't say like
You got that
Baltimore.
Virginia, Baltimore.
Two,
You got that.
two,
You do got that.
two. No, I say two, two.
No, when you talking, you be like
I say
T.
two. I say two. I
Yeah,
know you
you
ain't
said T.
talking Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh slang. I'm messing with you. But so yeah, definitely tap into the Avenue, man. It's a great streaming
That's dope.
service. Breaking bread competition is coming up between chefs. Chefs walk away with thousands of dollars, and you just compete streaming online. I'm gonna put together international chef competition with them as well because the chefs overseas need to compete also, and it's all fun. It's all fun. We're going to create some tip jars, and whoever gets the highest tip jar walk away with a couple $1,000s in their pocket just for going live and streaming. So it's a great streaming app. Remember, you heard it here first because it's gonna be some big shit with the Avenue in 2023. Stop going live for free.
For
But
real though.
anyway, I appreciate your time. Hold tight
Appreciate
backstage
you
for the first.
having me.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Another episode of Chefpreneur Academy. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. It's only going to get bigger and better if you're interested in having me come out. I'm a speaker, teacher, coach, guidance and insight. Want to give me a call and just talk through some stuff. Maybe you didn't want to talk about it on here, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? It's no harm, no foul. But reach out to me privately. Shoot me an email at chefpreneuracademy@gmail. I can teach you how to get registered with the Avenue and some other fun things. Also, if you're a chef and you're not certified yet, certifications are really big in our field. So if you want to get certified, I'm also helping you get certified as well. If you need to practice for your ServSafe examination or business marketing certification or customer service certification, for $29.99, I help you guys get certified. I'm teaching you how to take the examination, certification for examination preparation. Keep me in mind. And of course, big shouts out to the Avenue. Sign up today, y'all. Get paid while cooking live. Ask me how. Shoot me an email. I got you. And don't forget to follow Chefpreneur Academy free online courses over on Instagram at Chefpreneur Academy. You want to learn the culinary business? Slots are available right now. Registration is open right now. I got you guys. Trust me, I got your back. And shouts out once again to Chef Janese Boston, aka Chef Nina, out of Ohio, not Pittsburgh, Ohio. I said it right this time, so she don't jump on me. And I apologize for saying that she was out of Pittsburgh last time, but charge to the head, not to the heart. So once again, thank you guys for tapping in with me. Chef Chefpreneur Academy. Hey man, keep the information coming, y'all. Stay tapped in. Next Thursday, 7:30, we're back in the building once again. Don't miss it. Peace and love.